Who
All
said
right.
that?
Which show?
St. James Court, but she was in the
Who?
fourth street.
Oh, well, that's like that's like a totally different show. You had to be on the
But
court.
she was saying that people, friends of her that was in the court didn't do well neither. So
Well, maybe they had shitty stuff.
That's not nice.
I said maybe. I'm just speculating. I didn't say they did. That you almost can't like go by what people say because they might have trinkets, they might have really good stuff. You don't
Or
know.
they may have really good work, but they're not a good salesperson. That could be
There's a
something
lot of
too.
reasons. Yeah.
Or
I
they
mean,
may
that's kind of,
have had great shows 3 years in a row and expired their market.
well,
Actually,
that true. Yeah.
that's one show that people come back every year and buy something, and they come right away. So Friday morning was really good. I did fine. In fact, I did better there than just about anywhere. And I mean, in terms of price points. I sell my best stuff, so. And
Well, good.
suddenly, the glass guy across from me did really well too. I mean, you know, it was one after another with him.
yeah, but it still depends on the price point that you're selling. Like anything under $1,000 was moving apparently well. Anything above $1,000 was hard to move.
No, the person with the glass across from me, most of his stuff was over $1,000, and he was selling them one after another.
Okay, and that show you how people are.
And
But who knows?
it's if you've done it a long time, if you've done it a lot, people come back every year and buy. It's one of those shows where the community embraces the show. They want, you feel like you're wanted, and I like that.
And so it's welcoming, it sounds like.
It is very welcoming.
Mhm. That's
Look at it.
nice.
It's on a street where with very large houses, very large old houses, and you can use their bathrooms. They feed you, they talk to you.
That's very
They
nice. That's great.
yeah, bring you drinks. Whatever you want. It's unique in that aspect.
Hmm.
There's four shows, and St. James Court is the highest quality.
So you mean they're all going on at the same time?
Yes,
Oh,
So
it's like
something
Ann
that
similar
Arbor.
to something similar to Ann Arbor.
Yeah,
got it.
but it's all together. I mean, it isn't like you're
Mhm.
walking blocks and blocks to get, it's like
They're
if
connected.
St. James Court is Fifth Street, it's two, three, it's wait a minute, three, four, and five, and then there's this thing in the middle that's kind of squeezed in on one of that's 90 degrees.
They're all connected.
Yes,
So the
But
public,
they're juried differently, I would
totally
imagine.
separately. Yeah.
Yeah.
there used to be a time when you'd apply to one show, and if they were full, they would move your application over to another one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mhm. I don't like that. It's too many artists too and juried differently and all. I remember the Bellevue Art Museum show was like that. There were two other shows at the same time. The quality was completely different. And so
Yeah.
anyway.
In this one, there was not everybody from Louisville. I mean, they're from Cincinnati. Cincinnati's about 90 miles away.
Hmm.
From all different places. Cincinnati, Nashville.
You mean the customers?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's nice. That's great
Yeah.
that people come for that.
I mean, I've done shows where the clientele's upset because they have to walk 2 more blocks to get to the Starbucks, and they kind of grumble. Well, this one they're just really happy to, and they they feed you. I mean, it's funny. You can use their bathrooms. They have hors d'oeuvres. You can after the show they serve drinks. They buy the work. They kind of hang out. So it's kind of cool.
That is.
Yeah. Now, isn't that way everywhere in the show? It's just maybe I'm just
Mhm.
across from somebody like that,
Right.
you know.
Well, a lot of applications are opened.
Yep, I've got one I need to finish today, but I've put it off because I've got to rewrite text. Fort Worth tells you they want your artist statement. Fine. They suggest 300 to 400 words. I go, fine. I go
Words
in,
or characters?
huh?
Words or characters?
Words,
Yeah, I think it's words.
words.
Yeah.
And so I go to my Word or my pages file and I open up my um uh, open up my artist statement and I copy what I want or highlight what I want. It tells me it's like, I don't know, 325, 360, somewhere around 350 words.
Yeah.
Copy, paste it, cuts it off, tells you can only have 1,000 characters, which is barely 200, a little over 200 words.
Hmm.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah, because Zap, let's see if I can go in and take a look at it. The
It's a
limit on
mistake,
Zap,
obviously.
the limit on Zap is 1,000 characters.
So
Oh,
it's a mistake. It's a mistake because I applied to a show, I can't remember which, and they wanted 300 word characters. So I have artist statements for 100 and 200. I don't have 300. Then I have one that happens to be like 900 because there's some show that wants an artist statement. But I think it's always characters
Some are words.
yeah. I didn't have a
on Zap.
problem.
Yeah.
So there might be a mistake then somehow.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem. I cut and pasted my artist statement into it, and it was fine.
Okay. Um, please provide your artist statement. Please note this information is mandatory and may be referenced during the jury process in order for the jurors to have a better understanding of your work.
Hmm.
This question cannot be left blank. We suggest no more than 200 to 400 words.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
may also include links to videos and or other resources that will allow us to have a better understanding of your philosophy and process.
yeah,
Well, then obviously they didn't. There's a problem with Zap.
Well, there's a problem with communication between the
Yeah.
show and Zap.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
you know,
That's what I mean. I didn't mean to just, blame Zap.
I
It's yeah.
I can't speak to whether it was characters or words. I do remember something about it said words, but mine fit in there, and I also had a video, and I added the link to the video.
But the other thing I don't understand says you may also include links to videos and other resources. If you had a
Yeah.
link to a video or some other resource, it's no longer a blind jury.
Oh, you're
Oh
right.
yeah, good point. That's a,
Yeah.
that's really funny. Oh no. That's right. It had because it has my name in it in the video.
Well,
Well,
and
plus a
it has
picture of
you in
you
it.
in it.
And that's right in the picture. That's inter Court. I didn't even realize that. That's yeah. Look at they know they know you. You know.
Well, I thought it was interesting. I was talking with Chris Dahlquist at Fort Worth earlier this year, and she told me that um every couple years she changes up her work and she had submitted her current work and her new work to a jury. And one of the jurors told her, or the show director told her, we didn't even recognize your new work. We didn't know whose it was.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's telling. It assumes that they know who the work is, and they didn't connect. So they didn't connect the new work to the person. But if she had had her old work, they would have connected the person to the work.
Yeah, so they don't always know who it is.
But that's the director, no the juror, no the jurors, right?
What's that?
That's
No,
the
yeah,
director saying.
none of the jurors recognized her old work, her new work.
But they recognize her old work.
Yeah.
I think in the better shows that they know who you are. I mean, people know you because, like, if there's artists on the jury, you know, they've seen you a lot over the years.
Right. I
Yeah,
mean, I think that,
but
go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, I think that if somebody knew my work, they would know it
Yeah, I see. I
Yeah,
think that's a positive.
but that's the problem that some people have with,
because it's
you
not
There's
know,
no way
blind.
around it.
Right. There's no way around it.
That's right.
Exactly.
I agree, and I don't have a problem with that because it's the same for everybody.
yeah,
Unless I,
but it then becomes like I don't say this. I'm not attacking integrity or anybody else. It's just like it becomes that gray area where if but even people said if you people order artists the jury of the show, they see the show and then they see you the jury image, they got a better idea how your work looks in person. So you might get a higher score. But it put other people in disadvantage. They're applying for the first time of the show, and they always going to, by human nature, they're always going to go with the safe route.
Mhm.
So you have to put a presentation that blows people's mind to get over that. But once again, nobody really knows
Now, some people
the
may be able to,
application for other people
some people,
that put it out.
some artists that know my work may be able to tell by my booth shot it's mine, but nobody's going to know this new work is mine.
No, I know that,
Some
Core,
people
but
might suspect it though. It's black and white. It's still black and white.
It's still black and
yeah,
white, but it is so totally different than everything else I've done.
You still
So
have a
if
message.
you don't look at the booth shot,
Yeah.
there's
you
no
cannot
connection
tell.
between
Yeah,
my current images and my old images.
Okay.
that is that's true.
Court, are you still making statements? Do the images still make a statement? Are
Um,
you saying something like the work before? You're obviously you're saying something about life, about whatever, about
I would say they're more experiential. Would you say that,
yeah,
Court? Especially because of the scale.
they're not the journalistic or they're not the documentary style images I was doing before.
yeah, yeah. That's kind of what I'm getting at, so that you wouldn't necessarily know it's yours.
Right.
Has that helped? Or, I mean, are you getting into more shows with that work or,
Well,
Too early to know.
I haven't applied to any shows with it yet.
oh,
It's brand new.
that's a real challenge, isn't it?
Yeah. I had to fake one piece for Oklahoma City because they wanted 5 images, not 4. And
So here's
I
the,
only have 4 pieces created, and I don't have, $1,000 to go create a new piece.
yeah,
That's the other problem is until I sell a couple of these, um, it's going to be tough to have much backup because I've got, between 750 and $1,000 um in material costs.
Yeah, in each piece.
Yeah, in each piece. And it takes probably about a week to produce one.
Mm-hmm. Do you do your own rendering?
What do you mean rendering?
Um,
Printing.
no, printing the piece. Does it take some time?
Printing the piece is the easy part.
Yeah, printing's the easy part. It takes me um on the biggest piece takes me little over half a day, three-quarters of a day just to do the printing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, see, that's what I'm asking. Yeah.
Yeah, just to do the
Yeah,
printing. It
it's
takes
basically the same thing that Jana Epstein and oh, what's her name? She always wear a hat and does the still life. I'm throwing the blank. That does the big pieces in hand coloring.
oh, now you made me forget.
uh, but basically, what I'm saying is like the printing part for them is the easy part, but the hand coloring from the piece and putting in the frame and everything else, that's the part that's consuming time for them. And at least with Jana, which I see her do it, it each piece takes really 6 hours to do.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Wow,
mean,
it feels like I'm
after
knowing you
I
down.
after I shoot and pick the image, I probably have um somewhere between 1 to 4 hours of Photoshop work. Then I have to print it, which takes a little over half a day, and then it's got to sit and dry. Then everything has to be sprayed, and then it has to sit and dry again overnight. Then it has to be mounted, which takes another about half a day. Well, I have to cut up materials. I have to cut up the panels. I have to cut up the cradle. Just cutting up the materials to mount it is
Yeah.
better part of a day.
Yeah.
Then I have, um, another day, half a day to assemble it, or another half day to mount it,
Mm-hmm.
and hope I don't screw anything up either when I spray it or mount it, because then I have to go back and reprint that piece.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to assemble everything, and assembling everything takes probably 2 days.
Not trivial.
So, uh,
But
I
it's
have a
just a
two-part.
photograph.
No, we know that's that,
You could
So
do
I
it
have,
with,
I have I have a two-part question, Court. And they're related. Do you get frustrated with when judges not knowing the degree of the difficulty and the sophistication in what you're doing, and same thing with customers? You get frustrated with customers not knowing that because that comment that Larry just made. Oh, it's just a photograph. I think that's what people think. So they don't really understand the degree of difficulty that goes into it. And
no,
I
but
and I
it's
have
not.
that. I have that problem because
You're, yeah, but you're not. You see, the whole thing is you're being juried on the image. It doesn't matter what goes into it from a judge's point of view.
I
Well,
think that's important.
I will tell you with the new work, that's not an issue,
Okay.
especially with customers when they see it in person. The amount of work is not an issue because my biggest piece is roughly 90 by 60, and it is physically 13 different pieces. and people see that and they see how it's put together. They know this isn't just a frame photograph.
Mm-hmm.
They know it took some work. Um, Look at Larry's group. I just put my jury images, new booth shot in there. You can look and take a look at it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's it's complex. Now trying to get that across to a jury in the 10 or 15 seconds I have their attention, that's a whole different story.
Mm-hmm.
That's why for me, my booth shot's really critical, that it's done from the right angle and done the right way
Mm-hmm.
so that they can see the depth and the fact that this is actually individual pieces, not just one big photo.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that comes across in my booth shot real well. So how the jury's going to see it, how it's going to be accepted by the jury, I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Where can
use
one see your booth shot?
what's that?
Where can one see your booth shots that you're referring to? Because I'm getting ready to apply for a show on the 19th. That's going to be in April, and I want to set my tent up in the next couple of weeks, and I need to get a really good booth shot.
Hang on a second here. Let me find it. Uh,
What's your medium?
Mixed media. It's 95% wood, but I also do some painting and assemble the pieces into 3D and 2D sculptures.
okay. Hey, Larry, I just sent you a sharing request.
I appreciate that. I hope I haven't interrupted anything.
No, you're fine.
Oh,
I I approved it, Court.
Okay. I got to get back to Zoom so I can.
So on while we're waiting for that, on my application, if I can fit it in, I always put not cast. There it is.
Oh, hey, I can see where you have to have it like this.
So you can see the dimension.
Yeah, that's great. I think you'll do really well with these images, with these,
So
images.
there's that, and then let me go back and let's see. Can you see the individual image now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. This is 12 panels, all roughly 2 by 2, 2 foot by 2 foot. They're all at different, well, there's about 6 different depths. And so all that's everything's built individually. So
Okay.
that's why I was talking about, you know, showing the depth of the work, getting off a little further to the side than I normally would to be able to see that depth.
Mm-hmm.
So does that help at all, Bill?
Yeah, it does. It does. I'm not a photographer, and I was telling Larry earlier I've applied to this show. This will be the 6th year, and I've been waitlisted, and it's a nice it's a big show, and I would like to very much like to get in. And my work, I looked at my work and what I had submitted the last five years over the last couple nights, and it's like my work has gotten better, and the only thing that hasn't kept up, I don't have a good photograph of my booth. So that's where my focus is going to be. The tent is stored in my attic. I need to bring it down, set it up, and just take good pictures and then keep my fingers crossed. I think I would be almost happy. I might be happier and better off if I just got rejected outright because I could stop trying. But waitlist this close to being being accepted into this uh, very large show.
You've volunteered there in the past, so they're probably being kind by waitlisting you.
Thanks,
What's
Larry.
the show?
They keep asking me to volunteer, and I would volunteer. The first couple of years I did it, I, I was in the hospitality suite, and you're serving hors d'oeuvres, and you're walking around, you're chatting it up with people, and it was really a lot of fun. I'm an artist. Here's my card. And then the second year was pretty much the same. The third year they changed management in the hospitality suite, and now they don't even list the hospitality suite uh, on the website as a position that you can apply for. So it's like, you know what? I'd rather go. I want to go to this show now as an artist and not as a volunteer. That
Which
that
show is it?
the Waterway Art Festival in Houston.
Let me tell you a little story I have about that show
Oh yes, 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 of course.
and why I quit applying to it.
Oh, okay. Go
Does it
ahead.
have to do with the wait list?
I was waitlisted every single time I applied to that show.
Yeah.
After about six, I got in once off the wait list.
Okay.
I sent the show director, who was the old show director, an email, and I said, "Hey, I'm getting in all these shows except yours, and I keep getting waitlisted. Is there anything I can do to not be waitlisted?"
Yeah.
And I was told that they had a limited number of spots for photographs, and they wanted to make sure they had a variety of photography. So basically, what that tells me is I was not applying for one of the open spots as a photographer. I was applying for, I don't know how, I'm just picking a number. Let's say they have 25 places for 20 to 25 photographers. I'm not
Yeah.
applying for one of those 20 or 25 places as a photographer. I am applying for one of maybe two, maybe three places as a black and white photographer.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was waitlisted every year.
Which is not fair if they don't say that on the prospectus or let you know because they're taking your money
Yeah.
to jury you.
And
Yeah.
I simply quit applying.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that with a couple of shows that um, I was outright rejected to. I don't do it full time. It's just sort of a recreational hobby, a vocation. And one of the years that I did work at the Waterway, I talked to as many artists as I could. And one of them said, reduce your number of shows, and do shows that are good for you and shows that you like doing. And just focus on those fewer shows. And that's kind of like what I've been doing. Um, Most of my work is coastal themed. So I did a show, I'll do a show in the spring in Mississippi, unless I get into the waterway. Waterway is now a backup, but I would cancel out of the one in Mississippi to do the one in Houston. It's a lot closer to home, and that my potential for um, having an outstanding show is a lot better there. And in the summer and the fall, I can do one in Corpus Christi, which is on the Texas coast. I did that one this year, and that was a very good show on the advice of another artist that I met at the show in Mississippi. So, okay, 2 or 3 shows a year, in between, I can build my inventory because I have to make all this crap. And, carve it, paint it, put it together. And I don't want it to be a full-time job because I retired from a full-time job. And when it gets to be that point, I'll take up, bungee jumping or something else. Just it's fun. I like doing it. Make a few extra dollars. That's so much the better.
Yeah, well, that's the right attitude to approach it with. Um, but yeah, woodlands,
Mhm.
um, if you have something that's unique, they and as far as I know, I've talked to several show directors. Um, you know, I'm gonna pick St. Louis for example. They're on the opposite end of the scale. You apply in 2D. And if your work's 2D, you apply in 2D. And you they take the top scores in 2D. Doesn't matter what you all have, they just take the top scores. They don't try and say, okay, we want this many photographers and this many painters and this many of this. They just take the top scores in 2D and the top scores in 3D.
Let me
And
ask, let me ask another question. My daughter and grandkids live in Houston, so I spend a lot of time down there when there's are no shows. And I met a friend of theirs whose mother is an artist, and she's gotten into the waterway once or twice. And her son is friends with my daughter's son-in-law. And he says, "Oh, when you apply to the waterway, let me know because I have connections there." Now, that's something in my life I have felt very, very uncomfortable doing, losing those type of political connections to get into a show. Um, have you ever done that? I mean, do you just does it? Will you do anything to get into a show? Or
no, I won't.
I wouldn't
No.
I wouldn't want I wouldn't want to apply to a show that had policies like that. Of course, we have no idea what's happening, behind
Mhm.
closed doors. But
Yeah,
I will tell you what I have used, and that's just being a decent person and being helpful at shows and not being a pain in the ass.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
if you when it
I'll
comes
be
down
right back.
to wait list and a show, uh hang on a second there. When it comes down to a wait list and a show director's going down the wait list and she's looking at two
mm,
or three artists, if you stand out as being an artist that's been a pain in the ass for that show director, you're not getting you're at the bottom of the list, you
Yeah,
know?
that makes sense.
I I agree. Like, and if you could make a decision quickly and get them all of the information they need quickly, that certainly plays into that situation.
Yeah. And if you've done something nice or helpful or whatever, and the show director's looking at these names and you stand out because you've you know done something nice or good or whatever, then out of those three people, you probably go to the top of the list.
Yeah, that's a really a good idea. I have spoken in the past to the show director, and she was quite candid, and she said we looked at your work, and it's almost like you have too broad of a product offering. Okay, are you a painter? Are you a carver? Are you a sculptor? And she goes, narrow it down and focus on okay, so do I send in 3 images of carvings?
I, I think
it's more than that.
I think they're talking about maybe the cohesive look of your work. If they're mentioning all these different techniques, I think that's neither here nor there, but maybe, and I'm just guessing, maybe what they mean is that your work might not be as cohesive as it could be. In other words, you have 4 or 5 images that it tells a story, it clearly looks like your work. You could pick it out of a lineup, that kind of thing. That's what I'm guessing that they're trying to communicate.
I will tell
Yeah.
you, If you are
Wait, does that make
carving,
sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Just be a little more focused, and I think what I'm going to do is try to give them a call this week or next, and just kind of see, first of all, see if they remember me, and number two, by the way, in the past, what could I have done to increase my chances?
yeah.
They're not really there to critique you though.
No, they're not going to do that.
No.
Nope.
Well, that depends upon the show because I have had shows. I've had a show director spend 20 minutes on the phone with me helping me.
Yeah, she talked
Some
a
show
couple of years
directors are
ago. She
like
spent
that.
a good deal of time on the phone explaining what they do and how it worked and the process, and I appreciated that.
Hey,
So,
Debbie, let's see your face.
Yeah. Do you want to see my face?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's see. Oh boy, the revealing
There you are.
occurs.
Oh, just joking.
Makeup on. That's why I didn't do it. I guess to get to see me nude.
well, I got to drop off here. I got to drop
Happy
off.
Bill,
happy
He's
have you
gonna
Friday.
drop
applied to the other show in Houston?
What's that?
Have
Bayou.
you Bayou?
Now, I went to that one as an observer just to check it out a couple years ago, and it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. I couldn't find the venue. You had to buy the tickets online. I went that route. I paid for parking. There were no signs. I got there. It was spread out all over the place. And I said, I wouldn't go here if they paid me. That's just me and how my thought processes work. I know other people have said, "Oh, it's a great show. You ought to do that." It's like, well, not for me.
Well, that's the same way I feel about it. I did it once and I was done because
Me
Yeah.
I
too.
find out it does not make no sense if the people coming to the show have a hard time to get to the show. You're not going to get the traffic.
Well,
Yeah.
And
when I finally found a place to park, and this is not an exaggeration, I had to walk 2 or 3 miles to get to the site. And
There
when I
is a
got there,
shuttle.
it was like, well, gee, I've got to walk back to the car.
I hear there is a shuttle.
yeah,
Yeah, but to
but
where? I mean,
you know,
I wasn't in any kind of parking lot. It was just a municipal city park. It was horrible.
Hmm.
Then there were no signs. I didn't see anything on the website. Just pay your money and you got your ticket. Wow. And I'm starting to get that feeling with more and more of these shows. The cash cow is the artist and their fees. And it's like,
Yep.
yeah,
Mm.
I got to think about this.
Yeah, I'm
So,
axing off a lot of art show promoters from my list. I've done over 2,000 art shows, and I'm just, if they don't perform, I mean, I'm
yeah.
responsible too. I mean, I send
Mm.
out full color postcards, I do emails,
Mhm.
I do Facebook Live, I do Instagram, Facebook, blah, 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 blah. So I do my job more than most artists do. So if a show promoter, I just find that after, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but after 2020, things are not the same. And some of these promoters are resting on their laurels and they're saying,
Yes.
oh, they were the top 100 show in the country. And then I
That
go
doesn't mean
look and I
anything.
go, it
Yeah,
doesn't mean
especially
anything.
if you
What
read
what's your
Sunshine
medium?
Artist.
Debbie, what's your medium?
Mixed media.
Okay. Wall type
Yeah.
pieces or yeah.
Paintings. Yeah. I'm
Oh,
known as the heart artist. I've painted over 10,000 paintings that hang in homes worldwide.
uh-huh. Wow.
Cool.
Bill,
Yeah.
are your
That's
pieces
amazing.
are your
Thank you.
pieces primarily carved wood that you've painted?
Nope, not me. I
No,
paint
he
on
said Bill.
canvas.
I was
He
asking
he was
Bill.
asking he was asking Bill.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. An example is um, a shorebird or a seagull that's on a shelf in front of a painting of a surf or a seascape.
Cool.
And you've carved the bird.
Yeah, I carved the element, which is the shorebird or the seagull, and I paint the background, which is I'm looking at one now. It's the scene of a beach with waves breaking and the horizon and the vanishing points.
Have you
And then
tried
I'll put, pardon
have
me?
you tried applying just in wood?
Uh, no, I've thought about it casually, but not seriously, if that makes any
I
sense.
would
I
consider,
would too.
in
Yeah.
your case, applying in both categories, in wood and 3D mixed media.
Okay.
And
Mixed
Debbie can
media
talk about
or
this a little bit more, but I know from past experience and talking to people and looking at entries and things, mixed media is has been a very it draws a lot of artists. It's a very more competitive than a lot of other categories.
yeah, it's kind of, it seems like it's almost like a catch-all. If there's a painting and I put something in front of the painting that sort of ties the two together.
Hmm.
Um, and that's one. I'm also I make this is a deep frame. Um, so it's raised a little bit, and I'm doing different things with the reclaimed fence pickets, weathered wood. Um,
Hmm.
this is the one that I'm looking at now it raises the panel, but some of them, the panel is behind and the wood comes up around the sides as the frame. And the edge of the wood is the frame of the picture. There's a number of different variations, and I'm just I'm struggling to decide which ones I want to submit. It's going to give me the obviously the best chance to be accepted or invited to the show.
Yeah, I would not hesitate to apply in both categories.
Okay.
And a lot of shows, most shows, the show director is going to look at your application when you send it in.
Okay.
They're going to look at your images, your booth shot. They're going to look at what category you applied in. And if they think you're in the wrong category, most of the time they'll let you know. Not always, but
Yeah.
most of the time
Yeah.
they'll say, "Hey, you probably need to apply in this other category." Um,
Would they tell you that before the show so that you could redo your application, or do they send you the rejection? We'll try next year.
Usually a good show will tell you ahead of time and let you change your application.
Or they'll
Mhm.
move it for you.
Or they'll move it for you.
Okay. That's good. That's good to know.
Um, or you can simply say, well, I've already, they're going to know, especially if you're using the same booth shot and the same images. If you do two different applications,
Uh-huh.
you could use the same booth shot, or you might consider doing, in your case, if you have several pieces that are one kind of style and several pieces that are a different style, um, let's say you've got pieces that are more that where the painting is the bigger part of it,
Yeah.
then I would hang those pieces in your booth, do 4 or 5 photos of those pieces. I would enter that in mixed media. Then, if you have pieces that are more primarily wood, then I would do a separate set of images of those and maybe put those images in your booth and do a second booth shot with those images in your booth and do that as an wood category entry.
Gotcha.
And if
And
you're
have
gonna,
Larry edit your booth photos because he's really good.
That's a given.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's good.
so if you're gonna set your booth up anyway and you have the pieces, then it doesn't take that long. I mean, most of the time is to set up the booth.
Yeah.
Just change the pieces out and do a second booth shot.
Okay. Okay. That helps a great deal. Thank you very much for that. I've made some notes here, and I was going to wait till almost the last minute to send in my application. Now I think I'm going to try to bump it up a week and get it out of the way so that if there are some questions, I'll have some time to make some adjustments if necessary.
Yeah. And
You can start your application the first day and finish it the last day.
Yeah, I started it in Zap maybe a month or two ago, and I've got some images in there, and I've looked at it. I've looked at the old images that I've submitted, and it's like, okay, this one drops out. This one's better. I can do this one now, and I'm just I'm trying to get myself as confident as I can that this is the best effort I could put into my application.
the other thing it's going to help you with, Bill, is if they said you have like too much stuff or a wide variety of things,
Yeah.
by doing those two separate applications, it's going to let you kind of narrow things down a little bit, make the art look more cohesive. So you can have, okay, these four images I'm gonna put this kind of style in, and then these other four images I'm gonna put a different style in.
Okay, yeah, I see that. Yeah, and that kind of makes sense because you have to open the apertures to slightly different work for the respective categories. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Question for you, Larry. You said you can start the application and finish it on the last day. Now, there's a myth that I've been told that if you get points for when you apply. Is that true?
No.
Every show is different.
Okay.
I have heard that with some shows, if you apply early, then you're earlier in the,
Q.
the
Viewing
roster
process.
in the queue. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, here's how it works. Some shows, and you can find this information on Zap. Okay, I will tell you, Oscar found this out. Most artists don't get past the middle part of the show prospectus. At the bottom of the show prospectus is a tremendous amount of information. It tells you how many artists applied last year, tells you how
Right.
many open spots they have. So you
Yes.
can see, okay, they take 50% of the people that apply, they take 20% of the people that apply. It also tells you how they jury. It also tells you what order they jury in.
Mm.
Now,
I have read, and I can't remember which show I applied to, but they did say that it's like a first come, first serve as far as being in the queue. So the earlier you apply, the earlier you're in the queue.
And
Zap,
sometimes it's based on when you pay.
I can
Yes,
tell
yes.
I can tell you about Coconut Grove because Camille said she gets all the applications and she randomizes it. So it doesn't matter when you apply.
right. Some typically you want to either be the best place to be is in the probably the first quarter of the applications that they see. The second best place is the last quarter of the applications that the jury sees. The worst place is that middle 50%, especially as you get in the more closer to the middle, they're tired of looking at stuff, work blends in. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
then
it
you also,
depends upon no, but it depends upon some shows look by category, so they're only looking at a smaller amount in one series of time
right,
frames.
but
So
also
it all depends.
it depends upon when they jury your category. Is your category juried first or is your category juried last?
But if
So
they're having 3 days or 4 days of jurying, then there's that realm also. So it's an impossible thing to control.
yeah,
Mm.
I tend to apply early.
Yeah.
And I just use the same images for everything across the board because I've already overanalyzed and second guessed myself. And so it's like, you know what, just go forward with what you have.
We're professional gamblers
Yes, that is very, very true.
and gypsies.
and some shows will tell you that
Think
they
for yourself.
juried by your application number because Zap assigned each application gets a unique number.
Right.
So some shows jury by that number.
Yeah, and some jury by your actual Zap ID number.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So there's
Again of which we have no control over
right.
because
Mhm.
our number is our number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you're overanalyzing for nothing.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
not
overanalyzing
necessarily.
with with the images is not for nothing though.
Yeah, not necessarily because, um, when you get into the bigger shows, every little tiny bit can help.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. That's where I'm at.
So, yeah, so what I just did, and I'll probably go ahead and finish them since I've got everything ready right now, is the day that um, Brookside and Cherry Creek uh, opened up for applications, I started applications.
Yes, I do too.
The other thing that does is that leaves them out there hanging open. So if I go into Zap for some other reason, I will see that they are still out there and unfinished. And Zap
And
will
you won't
also
forget.
Zap will also send me reminders as, hey, you started this application, the deadline's coming up.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, Larry, a question on that. We talked about this earlier. Where can I see those? What's the address or the YouTube channel that I need to be looking for the previous?
The Facebook group, do you mean?
No,
No,
no, where I post
Oh.
all these weekly
Oh.
I
here.
want to see some of the mock juries and listen to the discussion of the pictures and see what I can learn from that.
The mock juries don't go over the actual work though. It's really um the cohesiveness of the set and the booth shot and how that ties together. Isn't that kind of right,
That's true.
Laurie? Yeah.
We don't judge, we don't talk about the work.
I don't know. Try that link and see if it works.
And for good reason.
Mhm.
Did it bring up
Ah,
my channel?
it looks like it is, yes.
What?
Yes. Yes.
From looking at the stuff in Larry's group, I will tell you, I think one of the things that most artists miss is how they arrange the artwork in the booth.
Mm.
Okay. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
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 Okay, because I can't. I've lost the image, but I'm trying to save this link so that I can capture it later. Yeah, I'm most interested in how to position and arrange the work inside the booth shot.
Typically, you want your biggest, strongest, largest pieces on the back wall
Mm.
because that's what's going to be the most prominent.
Okay, I've done that in
Okay.
the past.
Now,
Yes.
if you noticed in my booth shot, um, let me just see if I left that open.
Hey, Court,
Yeah.
one of the things I would do, I would move, that the sidewall that we're facing. I think it's the sidewall. I think the one on the left is the back wall, but whatever. I would move that one over to the middle. As opposed, you have it all the way to the left. The one on the right in your images, in your booth shot. And meanwhile, I wanted to say this. I'm really impressed with your new work, Court. I really, 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 really like artists that take their work to the next level, and you've done that with this work, and I want to compliment you. And we got cut off, so oh yeah, oh never mind. It is kind of in the middle because I read it wrong in the beginning at first.
Okay. Um, Bill, do you see how I've shifted off to one side? I'm not standing in the middle of the booth.
Yes, I did notice that.
Okay. What that does is that lets me not just focus on that back wall, is it lets me focus on that one side wall, but also kind of downplay this other wall.
Mhm.
So I'm featuring my two strongest pieces. And the other reason for kind of shifting off to that side is you can actually see the piece in back on the right side. You can actually see really see the depth to it.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So when you shoot, you don't need to go quite as far as I did. But if you move off center one way or the other, then what you end up doing is putting more emphasis on one side wall and downplaying the other side wall.
That's perfect. That makes perfect sense because some of my work, well, I think it all would classify as 3D. It comes out, but sometimes it's a can't stick out more than an eighth of an inch, fractions of an inch. And some clearly come out, 2 or 3 inches. And those would be the ones I would want on the right side, and more of the flatter type, closer to two-dimensional will be on the right, and then the larger, yeah, that's perfect. A larger painting in the back.
I would flip
Yeah.
everything
Mhm.
horizontally. Oh, put the doorway on the left, the table on the left, and angle it so you see the back and the right wall.
No, this is how I set up at a show. I set up this way as a show because I want, as you're facing the booth, typically now, there are shows where the traffic flow is different. The first wall that they see, if you're facing the booth, is typically your left-hand wall.
Hmm.
Yeah, I understand, but in a jury set, then it becomes a right-hand bookend where now it's not, it throws the viewer's eyes to the right. They're wondering what's on the right wall.
They
It's
can see what's on the right wall.
well, I'm talking about seeing the images. And it would, if you reversed it, then they would look back into your set of images.
I really, you mean reverse the way it's hung and shoot from the same angle, or
No, shoot. I mean, you could take the whole booth and flip it horizontally, and that's the way I'm talking about setting it up, just for the picture.
well, then the big image gets downplayed.
No, because
Yep. Yeah, it would still be there.
you're
You're
then
right,
you're
Larry.
featuring the back and the right wall with the doorway on the left. If you just flip the image horizontally, the big image is on the right.
Okay.
That's the way I would submit it for a jury set.
You mean
Because,
just flip this image left to right?
well, or set it up like that for the picture.
Okay.
Because then it forces the jurors to look. Right now, it's forcing the jurors to look to the right, but your images are on the left.
No, I think the way my eye tracks this image is front, left, right.
You're looking at
Center, left,
this.
right.
I'm talking about your whole jury set.
Oh, the individual images?
Yes, they would
Well,
be
that
to the left because the booth picture is always on the right.
yeah. Um,
So if you flip this, then it becomes a right-hand bookend, and the jurors look back to the left to look at your individual images again.
okay.
Oh, so you're talking about when you're looking at all images in a
Right,
row with,
right.
yeah. Took me a while to get that.
No, I'm confused. You would put the booth image first in
Now,
the
now, don't even think about it.
okay.
I'm talking about when you're applying to a show that projects the images, they project all the images in a row, and the booth is always on the right.
Right.
This image forces the viewer's eyes to go to the right and not the left. So if you were to flip your booth picture, it would force the jurors to look back to the left.
I'll flip it and look at it with the other ones.
But that only applies when you're seeing all five images at the same time.
Right.
Right.
So if it's the jury is like a one image at a time, you have to keep an eye on that also. So you have to read the
Yeah,
how they do the jury.
right. But it's the top shows that do project the images.
I think that right now, I think that St. Louis is the only one that does that now. I think that everybody else is doing
Cherry
remotely.
Creek. I mean, I
Well,
don't know what they're doing now.
yeah, I'll tell
Still,
you in a second.
they still haven't figured out how to have a jury on Zoom.
I know Zap is trying to get away from doing projected juries.
Well, that's because the shows don't want to pay them for the projectors.
I did a jury on Zoom it was actually, it had to have been, yeah, it was 2020, but we didn't know what was going to happen yet.
I know that for the guild we do it via Zoom and we see one image at a time.
Yeah, but the scoring page on Zap is the 5 in a row.
Oh yeah.
So that booth picture is going to be on the right.
Where in the hell is Cherry Creek?
Denver.
No, he's looking on Zap.
Yeah, I know.
Guys,
It's a
I've got
little
to drop
bit.
off. Larry, thanks for that address. Court, appreciate your time and knowledge and expertise and wisdom. Um, Thanks again, everyone, for the help. It was very, very helpful for me. Thanks.
All
Good
right.
luck to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. I guess
Yeah.
we're done.
Cherry Creek does high definition projection equipment
Right.
provided by SAP.
Right. Because they don't have to ship it.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Everybody have a good week.
Thank you very much. You too.
Yeah.
All right.
See you people. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Debbie.
Bye. Sorry, I'm eating. I'm in California right now.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.